Hello, connectors. I'm Grace Nelson, and I make up one half of One Less Stress Connect alongside my business partner and bestie, Charlotte Barrett. One Less Stress Connect is a platform which is aimed at helping employed entrepreneurs, so those working in full time employment, to build successful businesses that can work and that can grow. And this is usually around the said full time employment, your family, and other commitments. Now, one thing that Charlotte and I have come across, and we've experienced this ourselves, we are also victims to this same phrase, is that we just don't have enough time. We've got so much on our to do list. I often find in a given week that I've got so many calls to return, and it's just near impossible to really, get through that to do list, to return all the calls, do all my work, and set up for the week ahead. Sometimes I feel, oh God, yeah, this is a bit too much. But that was because I was living within the Newtonian shift. Okay. Now, what exactly is the Newtonian shift? Where does this come from? I probably hear you asking, and that's a really, really, really good point to start from. So over the last week, I've been re-immersing myself in the book, The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. This is a fantastic book. For those of you that have read it, I'm probably sure that you will be agreeing with me, probably nodding your head as I'm speaking now. And for those of you that haven't yet grabbed the book or the audio, I encourage you, please, please do so, because it is so eye-opening. It is so uplifting. And it just really draws you into a new way of thinking. Some may say it's a radical way of thinking, but it's just opened up my eyes to so much now. So there's a particular chapter in the book where Gay Hendricks talks about Einstein time. And within this, he goes back to what the professor Einstein was really trying to relay out to the world. That is that time is something that is within us. Okay, so we control the time that we have in our life. We should no longer view time as linear, a set number of hours in the day that we have to fulfill our ABC list. No, no, no. We need to push that to one side, because that's the Newtonian way of thinking, the Newtonian paradigm, which is all about, we've only got the set amount of time to do this, that, and the other. And that's where all the stress and friction really comes from. And that's not the life we should be living. We should be living a life full of abundance, okay? And Einstein had a fantastic quote, which Gay Hendricks actually announces in the book, which says that an hour with our beloved feels like a minute, and a minute on a hot stove feels like an hour. Okay, so I'm just going to repeat that for you to really get thinking about that and really get that churning through your mind at the moment. So, an hour with your beloved feels like a minute, and a minute on a hot stove feels like an hour. So, just think about yourself in those two scenario positions. With the latter, think about yourself on a hot stove, okay? Now, you're going to start feeling all the stress and friction as the time is ticking away. You feel the hot stove getting hotter and hotter on your backside, and you're going to be in so much excruciating pain because you're actually burning on that hot stove, and it feels like you're there for a lifetime. But then, if you're with a loved one and you're spending an hour, you're enjoying it, everything's coming from a place of love, you're embracing the time that you're spending with that loved one. Time just feels like it's not going by as quickly. It just feels like a minute, and you can look at your watch and think, "Oh my God, where's the time gone?" Another scenario is that with the Newtonian paradigm, it's always coming from a place of urgency, and that's where the friction and stress comes from. So, for example, say if you're a parent out there and your little one just tops into your room and says, "Oh, mummy, 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 please can you help me with my homework now?" But at the time, you're maybe writing an urgent report for work or doing something related to your business. You're more than likely probably going to tell your child, "Oh, can we just leave it till after? I just need to finish this first, okay?" the urgency is not quite there. But then, if your child came in and they've got a large gash across their hand or their leg, etc., they're really bleeding out. As soon as you see that, you don't even need your child to ask you anything. You would act with urgency, and that's where all the stress and friction comes from. And that's something that I really encourage you to think about as you're listening to this today. We really need to move away from that mindset whereby we're always saying we don't have enough time, because in actual fact, we do. We just, within ourselves, we need to make time for those things that we feel are really important to us. And that's how you find that you can start living a life of abundance, a life where you're not stressing, you're not getting frustrated, etc., because it's something that you're enjoying. So for those of you in full-time employment, you're probably always counting down the time. I mean, I've done it. You just think, oh my God, will this day ever end? Will lunchtime come? You're always waiting for that next moment where you can just be free and release yourself, especially if you're in a job where you can just define it as headaches and paychecks, headaches and paychecks. That's something that I've come across as I've been speaking to some of the connectors within the group. You need to move away from that, and it's because it's coming from a place where you're not in love with what you're doing. Okay, you're looking for a way out, and that's why time just seems to be going so slowly, really dragging out, etc. And it just feels like it's a lifetime that you're just stuck in that one place. You're stuck in a rut almost. But once you start to connect with something, for example, your business, you're spending time doing it, it's something that you're truly passionate about, it's coming from a place of love, you will find that you do have ample amounts of time. When people are calling you, you can easily call them back because you're making that time. Time just all seems to fit into place. So I want you to start thinking about where you are now. Are you the type of person that's saying you don't have enough time? Are you coming from a place where you're in a full-time job where it's just headaches and paychecks? You've got commitments. You want to take the big leap, as Gay Hendricks' book is entitled, but yet you don't quite have the roadmap in place or the infrastructure in place to do so. I want you to really chew on that and get your mind thinking about that. Pose a series of questions to yourself in terms of how much time do I really have? If I'm feeling that I'm coming from a place where I don't have no time, I'm really in that Newtonian paradigm shift, start thinking about ways that you can start to alter your mindset. Now, this is what Charlotte and I readily work with our connectors to do. So we are offering you a chance to jump on a 30 to 45-minute call with us, okay, whereby we look at exactly where you are now and where you want to be and help you gain clarity on that, and start to work through a roadmap which starts to factor in how much time you have to actually commit to things. And you'll actually find that, the more you start to drill down, you can spend, an hour or two doing this exercise, which will set you up for the rest of the week. So you start to see that you can use small pockets of time to do vast amounts of work. And that's really the place where you want to be coming from. You want to be coming from a place where you can work smarter and not harder. It's not too much of a drain on you because you're working in a strategic and focused way, which is helping you get the same results as somebody who's working all hours of the day, stressing themselves out, running out of time doing this, that, and the other. Um, so that is our gift to you, a free power call, as we call it, whereby we can look at your time management strategy. So please do just reply yes in the comments box below, and Charlotte and I will send you the link whereby you can jump on a free power call where we can do a time management review of exactly where you are and where you want to be and really help you out on that front. I'm going to love you and leave you. Bye, connectors.